Hello everybody, welcome to another guide and tutorial for the golden shot. Difficulty level is hard, and I'm gonna show you 5 shots in how to destroy this version of the Acacia Reserve. Before we take a closer look, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you you want to take the next step in your game, you go to patreon.com/golf-tommy. We do offer tour guides and tournament guides starting as low as $1.50. Try out for a month and see how it will improve your game. Let's take a look at the one that we are going to play. It's going to be Acacia Reserve hole number 5. This is a par 3 that I despise, I must say, from the second and the third tee. From the front tee, I believe it's a little bit easier due to that the tee location is more left, so we can go more straight at it and are not dependent on either going for a rough bump or going with a lot of backspin. I'm not gonna go for a rough bump here as it is in between clubs, so we're going to do 2 type of different landing positions, and which we are going to take a look at now. The first landing position, or like the only one that kind of matters for you, is if we do have tailwind, any type of tailwind component, we're looking to be at the top yellow ring by rough line with ball guideline to point towards the hole, and there's going to also be the second bounce into the center of the dark green square, which is important to have. It's kind of difficult to get that spot exactly accurate, and that's obviously because we do not really have much else to point to. So I would recommend to try to focus on the second bounce mainly, but also then the ball guideline to somewhat point towards the hole. But this is tailwind. What do we do in a crosswind and headwind? We play an NMT, and for those that are not familiar with that expression, it's called no move target. So it means that when the shot opens up, you're not touching the target until it's time to adjust the rings that you can see on the side here on the screen. So you headwind, crosswind, you're just applying the spins according to the text guide, and then you adjust and you take your shot. So you're not moving anything, but in tailwind we have to move up, and we're playing a little bit higher up on the fairway, and the reason we do that is to avoid the glitch roll that will otherwise occur if we do play in tailwind. Play with a golden long iron every single time. Max plus 10 is the adjustment. And the last piece I would have to say there is, if we do have a headwind, there is a risk of adjusting up into max club. And then you shall not use any overpower even though you adjust into it. So that's everything when it comes to the landing position. We're taking a look at the chests here. We do have the cobalt chest for the dark blue ring, aqua chest for the light blue ring, crimson chest for the red ring, amber chest for the yellow ring, and then obsidian chest when it comes to the hole-in-one. Press the question mark on the top right to frequently asked questions for the golden shot. Here you can also send a ticket to the Golf Clash support team if something, an error occurs or something like that. I mean, you might just have questions about something else. You can obviously send a ticket for that. Also, now let's take a look at the videos. I have 5 videos for you, and we're gonna start off with video number 1, and that is a slight, it's a southwest wind, and we are then playing a no move target. You can see I'm not touching my target just of yet. Playing 1.2 right spin. 6.5 miles per hour is 3.9 range, and as always we're pulling over the bullseye. So putting the ball at the top of the ball at the top of the take shot button to be at the 2.9 mark, and then pulling over the bullseye. You can see I'm adjusted into overpower, but I'm not using any overpower at all. Bounces on the fairway, and you can see that we're using a little bit too much of right spin, and we need to crank that down just a little bit. Let's see what we do get in the cobalt chest here, and we do have the big topper, which is great when it comes to this account, as I do need some epic cards on some of the clubs to max them out. Berserker balls, as always, as a ball price in the golden shot. Now, slightly more crosswind than what we had just now, and it's still an NMT as we do have a slight headwind. So again, playing 1.2 right spin, to see if it was just me doing a mistake on the one before. And this time we're not pulling into a max club. 6.4 miles per hour is 3.8 rings. Center the ball and hit perfect. We're gonna see ourselves having a good speed, but we're still missing to the right of the pin. You can see here now we roll out good speed, just rolling out of the red ring, and that's not really okay, as I do believe that a perfect ball here should reward us if executed properly, which I do believe I did there in the video. It should reward us with a red ring, otherwise we need to tweak something with the adjustment, which I've done in the text guide for that particular wind angle. Now headwind again, but now we do have wind coming left to right, so it's kind of like an in-betweener. So I'm using here 0.9 right spin, 5.2 miles per hour, 3.1 rings. And again, we're pulling over bullseye, so putting the target at 2.1 ring mark, pulling over to the edge of the yellow, which is an extra 1 ring, and it gives me then 3.1 rings. Center the ball and hit perfect. Ball will then bounce on the fairway nicely, coming up towards the green, taking the turn, and we're dropping for a lovely hole-in-one here on this Acacia Reserve version. And that kind of surprised me. I dropped more hole-in-ones than I expected to be doing at this one, because, I mean, it's a very bumpy and inconsistent par 3 in general, and we all know how difficult this one was to drop consistently in tournament. Now, having a tailwind, we're moving up again, looking at the second bounce. We're also looking at the ball guideline to point straight at the hole. 2 difficult references, but I'm doing my absolute very best here. 6.1 miles per hour is the wind, and I'm playing with 1.7 backspin and 0.1 right spin. 6.1 miles per hour equals 3.7 rings. Making sure I'm pulling straight, which obviously is difficult without the grid lines, but it is definitely makeable, but you need to take it a little bit slower. Center the ball, hit perfect. Ball will bounce on the fairway. You can see we're bouncing all the way up to the fringe to avoid the glitch roll on the fairway, dropping it dead center for a beautiful hole-in-one here in tailwind. So let's see what we do get in the chest. Let's see what epic we're getting. And as we're already been getting the obsidian chest, we're getting the one next after that, which is the yellow ring. So that was great. That was the cataclysm as epic, and it was always also some berserker balls as well in the end. Now tailwind again, but wind coming left to right. Some more crosswind together with the tailwind. Now yellow ring by the rough line once again, and they're trying to get the ball guideline as instructed. 1.5 backspin, no side spin whatsoever. 6.6 miles per hour is 4 rings even. I'm gonna put my that little ball on top of the take shot button at the blue ring's edge, which is 3 rings plus 1 as I'm pulling over the bullseye, which is 4 rings. Center the ball and hit perfect. Ball bounces on the fairway up onto the fringe to avoid the glitch roll and takes the turn and comes in dead center for another beautiful hole-in-one here on Acacia Reserve hole number 5. Let's see what we are getting into in the aqua chest now, which was the one obviously that was the best chest that I had left to get in that state. So I mean, I cleaned this out easier than I thought, but at the same time, I mean, this is a par 3 that is very difficult in general. I'm kind of torn if I'm going to recommend to spend some money or not. Play your free shot, decide for yourself. It is difficult, but at the same time, the guide is really good. Now, let's take a look at the text guide made by Tony Richardson, as always, based on my shots only. Make sure to subscribe to Tony's channel. You have the link in the description down below. You can also find, when it comes to the golden shot guide, you can always find it on golf-tommy.com, because we always update there once the golden shots are done. So instead of having to ask in messenger chats and stuff like that, just log on to the website and download it from there. You will also find the text guide in various communities, Reddit, Twitter and stuff like that. Right, landing position on the top left, tailwind only, NMT otherwise, so no move target otherwise. So that's why we're only showing the tailwind, because there is no need to show the NMT, as that's going to open where it opens. Top of yellow ring by rough, front plus 3-yard mark with second bounce center of dark green square row before spin. That is also very important, so don't add spins till you have found the position. That's again in tailwind, NMT, in headwind and crosswind. Spins. Let's look at the tailwinds, which is the red. 1.5 backspin, no side spin, and wind coming left to right with tailwind. 1.5 backspin, 0.3 right spin, wind coming right to left with tailwind. Direct tailwind, 1.7 backspin, 0.1 right spin. Wind coming left to right with direct crosswind. Now we talk crosswind and headwind, the green. 0.2 backspin, 0.8 right spin. Wind coming right to left with crosswind, 0.2 backspin, 1.2 right spin. Wind coming left to right with crosswind and headwind. No top spin or backspin, 0.8 right spin. Wind coming right to left with headwind and crosswind. No top spin or backspin and 1 right spin. Direct headwind, half a top spin and 1 right spin. If you adjust into overpower, do not use an overpower. VPR table on the right hand side. And again, you can find the golden shot guide on golfclashtommy.com. Thank you so much everybody for watching another guide for the golden shot. Make sure to sign up on Patreon and start your journey in becoming a much better Golf Clash player than what you are today. Thank you once again. Good luck in the Golf Clash game.